to my rebooted interview series. I'm interviewing people who are successfully pursuing their passion on the side or transitioning to do it full time. And when I thought of this concept, the first person I thought to interview is my good friend, Mitchell Olson. Hi, Mitchell.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. And the reason I thought of Mitchell is because, first of all, he's a wildly talented person.
Oh,
Second of all, he has a day job that he loves, but he also is pursuing other passions on the side, lots of them. So I
right.
wanted to take a few minutes to talk with him to see what he's up to and to maybe get a few pieces of advice from him on how others could maybe do it.
Sure.
So, Mitchell, how are you?
Good. Very good.
So this is
This
not
isn't, yeah, it's not the first time that we've interviewed.
So I've interviewed you before. It's been a few years,
Yep.
but we look better now.
We do, I think. We look good with age.
That's right. So I interviewed you. We both went to college together at South Dakota State University, and I
Yep.
was a broadcast journalism major, and you were a member of the Dancing Freaks.
Yes. Which was this weird group that me and my friend Ted created. There's four of us, and we would go around to the dorms and honk the horn to warn them that we're coming, and we would get out of the car and do a choreographed dance to a song that we practiced, and everybody would walk through the dorm windows and scream and chant, and it was pretty hilarious. We did that for a while, and it became so popular that we were like on morning shows, on being asked to do halftime shows of games and stuff like that. So it became kind of a whole I don't know, almost like a job of its own.
And then the time that I did record you guys at the nursing home.
Yes, that was great. And you got some great clips of like old ladies who weren't even applauding. In fact, they were shaking their head like, what is this? What are they doing?
Frowning.
They were
frowning. And you guys were up there, jazz hands, like ball of energy. And
it was to Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas.
That's right. I remember.
I just remember getting that phone call saying, would you like to come to the nursing home to perform? And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll give it a shot.
And I was like, oh, what a great place to get B-roll.
Yes. Worked out perfectly. Win-win.
All right. So, with that introduction,
right.
Why don't you tell us what your day job is?
Currently, I'm working in Tea, South Dakota as a paraprofessional at the elementary school. So I am working each day with kindergartners with high needs. So I have a gal with Down syndrome and one with autism. So those are the cases that we usually are taking on there at the school. So not only am I helping them through their day-to-day activities, but I'm also helping them with their reading or their math and what areas that they're low in. So I love it. I never thought that I'd be working with children, especially kindergartners. Had you asked me that 10 years ago, I'd say no way. So I took on the job like 3 years ago and fell in love with it and love the personalities of the kids and of the teachers. And kindergarten is such an innocent age where they really believe everything that you say, and it's really cute. I like that age. So I've been doing that for 3 years, and that really is just to make money, just to pay the bills. I like it, like I said, but I'm glad that I like what I do. But it really is just to pay the bills. And then after school, I teach piano lessons. But there's other passions.
Yes, that was my next question. Why don't you tell us about your other passions that you pursue on the side?
Right. So ever since I was a child, I always wanted to do something on the news, like anchor the news or report, do something with that. And so this last summer, because I don't teach in the summer, so this last summer I got a job at KSFY, the local news station. And really I was just running the camera, I was running the teleprompter, just kind of doing odd behind the scenes type jobs, but always in the back of my head thinking, I'm going to eventually approach the station manager, which I did, and suggest doing something on air. So my suggestion was doing some kind of like a Hollywood Minute or an entertainment segment once a week or twice a week and he liked the idea. He wanted to spin it into more of a local Sioux Falls, South Dakota, like what's happening in Sioux Falls, what bands are playing, and a lot of theater stuff, concerts, even movies, things like that. So I've been going to a lot of shows and doing reviews on them, and going on Friday mornings on KSFY in the morning and doing a live report or review on the show that I watched. So that's been going on now for 2 months.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's just like one of those like check it off kind of things where I feel I really felt like a milestone had been checked off. And then the other thing is radio. I always thought I could do radio or wanted to do radio, and so the local station here, Hot 104.7, they wanted to do some spots about Survivor, because we didn't talk about this, have we yet? I was on Survivor.
Yes.
I was on season 2 of Survivor, the Australian Outback, and so they wanted to do. It's already up to like season 32. So every time an episode aired, they wanted me to come in and talk about it the next day. So we kind of started doing that, but then it just turned into stories about my experience on Survivor, or celebrities that I've met or dealt with who were not very friendly, just things like that, like kind of a gossip segment. But it's super fun, and people love listening to it, and I get tons of comments and mail about it. So I'm really enjoying doing that. That's every Friday morning as well. So I go from KSFY at 6:30 to drive across town to 104.7 at 7 o'clock to 7:30. To drive at 7:30 to T to start the teaching job at 7:45.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, but I somehow feel like content. Like these are some things that I've always wanted to do, and I'm getting a chance to do them. And if the opportunity came up where they said, "Hey, do you want to do the radio thing full time?" I could possibly consider doing that. I kind of enjoy it, you know. So it's just nice to dip my feet in a little bit and get a taste of it. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have a good radio voice too.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that.
So why don't you tell us then about how you fit this in your passion pursuits? And there are some other passion pursuits that you haven't mentioned yet.
Yes.
About your emceeing and your music and your directing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also those passions. And why don't you tell us a little bit about those, and then how you fit them into your busy day?
Sure. So at the school that I teach at, they wanted me to take on their theater program for their high school and the middle school. So I recently directed a middle school show for the first time ever. I've never directed ever. I've been in hundreds of shows, and I was so scared directing because I didn't know how to. I didn't think I did, but it came kind of naturally, and I ended up enjoying it. Just a lot more responsibilities and things like that, and trying to work with other people's schedules and things like that. But I liked it. So they're going to hire me on again next year to do the high school shows as well. We're right now working on the high school musical. So that is, I'm glad to do it because it actually pays. And as you know, a lot of these pursuits don't pay. Like I love singing, and I've sang all my life, and churches are always calling me to come and sing at their church. And I do, and I like it, but you know, they're not going to pay you, and I don't expect a church to pay me either. But and I do a lot of MC gigs. I just did one last night in Vermillion, South Dakota, where I was the MC with my friend Gretchen, and we had to MC a show choir invitational. So like all these show choirs from around the state came to perform, and in between setting up, me and Gretchen went out there to entertain the crowd. The nicest part is, you know, afterwards you walk out of that room, and right away, like 2 ladies stopped us, and they're like, "You were the reason that we came back this year. You were so funny last year. We loved it so much. Thank you so much." And that's the kind of compliments we got all the way out the door. And those accolades, I guess, kind of replace the monetary part of it. You know, I mean, when I get done doing a show like that, I feel so confident, like I'm king of the world kind of thing. And that feeling and that relief and that release and all that, and the compliments and accolades, I think that's kind of why I pursue those passions. You know, sometimes you get paid and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, but you get paid in more ways than just money.
Exactly. That's right.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have to someone out there who isn't totally content with their current work circumstances, and they want to pursue something else. They want to pursue something they're not sure what it is, or maybe they know what it is, but they just are being hesitant with taking their first steps.
Right. I mean, if they know what it is, the first thing to do is just to absolutely start doing it. I mean, on a small level, like I did with like the KSFY thing or the radio thing, like once a week, just start doing it, because I think that's the biggest part of that battle is whenever I hear somebody say to me, I've always wanted to write this children's book, I just want to stop them and say, it's never going to happen, because you're talking about it. You're saying you wanted to do it. Like if you want to do it, do it. And I think that that's the biggest step and hurdle that people have trouble with, you know? I mean, I think that everybody has $1,000,000 ideas every day of their life. And the only thing that doesn't make it that $1,000,000 idea is because they don't pursue it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. I'm a huge believer in taking action and then just seeing how you feel.
Right.
That's how you know. Because you can only get so much clarity within the confines of your mind thinking about it. Whether you know that you're going to like it. And I know you and I talked once, and well, when we first talked about doing this interview, and you said to me, I'm pursuing so many things right now because I just want to decide what it is I want to do.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so great.
Yeah. I feel like it's been like that for a long time for me too, but that's fine. I mean, I kind of always have rolled that way and I like it.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I find something and I go on that track for a little while and just I feel very blessed to have been able to do all of that.
Yeah.
And you know, back to like those moments of like being scared to do something. I think we talked about stand-up comedy. I did stand-up comedy in New York for 6 years, and I was sick to my stomach for a week before I went up there on stage. Somebody that I met on the street recognized me from Survivor, and he was like, I do this show once a week. Will you please come do it on Friday? And I'm like, I don't have any material. And he's like, I just write some things up. It'll be great. So I spent my week writing some things. I was so nervous, sick to my stomach, couldn't sleep. And finally went up there and did it. And I just, afterwards, I felt so amazing. It was the best feeling ever. And again, the accolades is what you get from that. Stand-up comedy is one of those careers that most times you have to bring paying guests to even perform. So that was an interesting part of stand-up comedy. Eventually you get to a point where you get paid. But at the beginning, it's like you're either bringing guests or you're barking out in front with flyers. So
I was one of those paying guests.
Yes, I was going to say, you were many times you were there as one of those paying guests watching me perform.
And you were amazing. You were amazing. Really, really good at that. And definitely worth the trips and the 2-drink minimum.
Exactly. Well, and the point, I guess, is the fact that I got up there and I did it, and then I would go home, I would kind of rethink my set, revamp it, rewrite it, and prepare myself for the next week and go back up there and do it again and just try to make it stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think that, and I know I got better at it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the key to that. It's just, you just have to actually go out there and do it.
Yes. And then take the minute to reflect to see how it felt.
Right. Exactly.
And I do remember your dollar store bit.
Yeah. The bit about where at the Newark dollar store, where I saw a woman was buying a pregnancy test at a Newark dollar store, and I was like, not for nothing, but if you're buying that pregnancy test at a Newark dollar store, you're pregnant. I just saved you $1 because you probably bought the condoms there too. So yeah, that was a good one. I really did. They really do sell them at the Newark dollar store. I really did see a woman buying one, and that's the first thought that came to my mind. You're pregnant.
Okay, that joke gets funnier, actually, as you tell it. Oh my gosh. Yes, good stuff. Good material.
Good stuff.
Keep that in your set.
Keep that going.
Oh my gosh. Where were we?
Well, I think we were talking talking about trying to fit it all into the day, and that's
Yeah.
the hardest part about it is balancing all these different plates that are spinning and trying to keep them without dropping one. And like the time management of it is very difficult, and I don't get to see a lot of my partner Mark, and I know that that bothers him sometimes, but I try to include him on most of it too. Like even tonight, I'm going to an Oscar party, this big star-studded tuxedo Oscar party, and we're going to be live on the news at this Icon Lounge here in Sioux Falls. And of course, I invited Mark, and of course, he turned it down. He doesn't love big social situations. He's kind of introverted, but many times he does come with me to these shows that I'm reviewing and things like that. So we get to spend time together that way. But trying to find time to do this all is the most frustrating part of it. I always say, like, I wish that I didn't have to sleep at night because I could get so much done. So that's frustrating. Yeah.
I hear you. So my last question for you then is, what is the most rewarding part? I mean, you've talked about it a little bit, but maybe you can end on what the most rewarding part is for you.
I mean, for me, I guess it's always being on the go and having something to do, and I always pick things that I find very entertaining. Like I don't pick dull things. I organized a teacher party the other day. We went tubing down this mountain, and it was hilarious. But it was time consuming, but it was rewarding to see them laughing as they went down and me laughing as I went down. We had a great time. So I always tend to choose things that are really fun, off the wall, quirky, and that makes my day interesting. That makes my life, it feels more interesting to me. And all of those things are the biggest reward that I take away from it.
Yeah. And I often say that when I hear a lot from my clients when they're pursuing their passion and they're like, oh, this is harder than I thought it would be.
Right.
And I did this to make my life better. And
right.
I feel all these stresses. But I think it's because sometimes we lose sight of, it's not that the passion isn't there and they chose the wrong passion. Sometimes maybe it is, but often it's not.
Right.
It's that they lose the funness and the lightness, and they're taking themselves too seriously and the situation too seriously. And because if you're not having fun, then, you know, that really is, to me, a key marker of success.
It really is.
How much
You're right.
fun you're having.
I completely agree.
Very cool. All right, my dear. Well, I want to thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Any final thoughts? Any parting words?
Just pursue it. Just go do it. You know, don't think on it. Don't say, I wish I had. That's the worst. Going back and saying, I wish I had done this. Don't do that.
I so agree. And if you're just feeling stuck, like why? Ask why. Don't just accept it. Why?
Right.
Why are you stuck? And usually an answer will come to you.
Right. Or what can you do to change it? I moved to New York City like 1 week out of college without any money, without a place to stay, and just thought something will happen from this, right?
Yeah.
And best decision ever, you know? So
yes.
Just do it.
Yep. From us, not Nike. Just do it. You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. We created that.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. And if you haven't done so, you can subscribe to my newsletter to get tips on how you can better fit your passion pursuit into your day. And please share it with a few friends. And remember, this is my new catchphrase. Let me read it. Remember, others are out there waiting for your passion.
Oh, I love it. That's good.
Okay. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes.
So, again, thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.